Maayong adlaw, my name is Janine and you're listening to the Pod Point. Today is video episode number 5 and we are going to talk about the biblical view of teaching.
What's up, everybody? Guess who's back? Back again. Nah, just kidding. So I'm back, everyone. It's been a while.
Yay!
Yeah, it's been a while to Janine. So,
Uh-huh.
what did I miss?
You didn't miss a lot, Mon, but I'm just thankful that you're here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thankful to be here as well. Thank you, Lord, for bringing me back.
Anything new about you, John, since you're back? You're back.
Anything new?
Or any updates or...
I got a new sweater. It's green.
Oh.
It's K-poppy.
K-poppy. Define K-poppy.
K-poppy. I'm a fan of K-pop.
That's one good trivia for you. Yeah, K-pop. What song so far that's been playing on your playlist?
What is love? Let's go.
Samuka. Yes, John.
All right, anyways, guys. So, I've been given the privilege to introduce our guest for today. So, this guest of ours has been a teacher for the past 19 years. Has a master's degree in not only in theology, but also early education. And she's currently affiliated with Chada Literacy and Arts Hub. Guys, why don't we give a warm welcome to our guest for today's episode, Miss Jane Diana. All right.
Hey, welcome, Miss Jane, to the
Welcome.
Pod
For
Point.
having me, the Pod Point.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this afternoon.
Yes, we are. I personally am excited as well. I hope you are too, John.
Of course I am.
And on that note, we'll just do a little bit of an icebreaker, Miss Jane. So I have some nips here, or sugar-coated candies, colored candies. And what we're going to do is that all three of us, we're going to have to pick one color, hopefully a different color each, so that we will have a different question. So why don't we start with, of course, our beautiful guest today, Miss Jane. Sige.
Do the honors, please.
Okay, orange.
Orange. Okay, let me check what orange is. Here's the question. What's the best vacation spot you have ever been to?
I love the beach and the mountains, but yeah, I once went to Camigan White Island, so I
wanna
want
go
to come
there.
back to climb Mount Hibok, so hopefully soon.
So you're into hiking too?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, that's Camigan White Island.
No, that's something new for.
Nice.
It's not. I think most of the people I know is like mga lalaki jud ang go to hiking and all. So have you been like hiking, Jude, ever since, or?
I do, but not recently, like
Mm.
work is life recently, so yeah.
And
but
then
hopefully
balancing
soon,
it out
soon.
with being active.
Yes,
Amazing.
Yes, so
Thank you, Miss Jane. Let's
Right.
have John.
Okay. Is there any color I have to avoid?
There isn't actually, but you have to avoid the orange na.
Okay. Oh,
You have to
speaking of
avoid it.
okay. All right, red.
Okay, red. Hala. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book. Easy. Guys, she's laughing. It's like she's saying that I don't read books. Have you heard of the author Rick Riordan?
Yes, I know him.
Have you heard of the Kane Chronicles? Percy Jackson, and what was the other one? Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah, I know. I've read the Percy Jackson series.
I love those 3 series. I can't choose one, but I love the 3.
Oh.
See? Guys, I do read books. Not that many, though.
Yes, John. I'm glad I know that you read books. Sige. Okay, so it's my turn. I'll have to haan. Hala. So, John, I'm gonna give you this little cheat sing
Sige,
here.
sige.
Not in our color. Let's see, I have to avoid
Red and orange. Blue.
blue.
All right. The question is, what's your favorite kind of food?
Wow, I like this question. Favorite kind of food? Well, if I have to talk about cuisine, I think really love the Philippine cuisine man jud. Like the Pinoy foods jud. My favorite is always pancit canton. Not the pancit
Na-
canton that in
okay,
package.
okay.
No, not that. Like the pancit, how you cook pancit. That's one of my favorite. Also lechon kawali. And also adobo, of course. Yeah, so that's my favorite food. But other than that, I also love mga Asian cuisines like Vietnam, Thai, may nga na.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm a foodie. Charot.
Alright, so we've got
Feeling foodie.
we've got a hiker, we've got a bookworm chart, and a foodie.
Sa mukha sa bookworm. Oy. Sige, sige. I'll give that line to you.
All right. Anyways, well, it was great to get to know you, Miss Jane.
Yeah.
It was great to also know that you're a foodie, Ate Janine, and I know you were
You're a
surprised to
bookworm.
hear that I'm a bookworm as well.
I am.
But I think we're ready now to dig deeper
Yeah.
into our
I
main
agree,
topic for
John.
today.
I agree.
So, yeah, we'll proceed to our first question we'd like to ask you, Miss Jane. So, as what I mentioned earlier, you've been a teacher for the past 19 years, right? In those years that you have taught, could you please share to us who was Teacher Jane the first time she taught and compare it to the Teacher Jane in the present?
Di ba pang Miss Universe ang question,
You
di
can
ba?
also like
I mean,
yeah, you could also cite in like any remarkable or significant realizations throughout those times.
all right, all right. The 19 years feels so, a guy.
It's still
Yeah.
fresh, still fresh. Don't worry about it. It's still
I know,
fresh.
I know. Like, yeah. I think I still remember the very first time I stepped into the kindergarten classroom. I was 20 then, and I was so on fire, so passionate, so thrilled that I'll finally become a teacher. It was a dream school that I went to the first time I worked. I wanted to be in a Christian school. And so I got that. It was even a panel interview, and I loved that too. I was ready to say yes to anything. You know, if the coordinator will say, you teach this subject, I was just gonna say yes. Or you will have another subject, and I was just gonna say yes. You know,
Typical
that-
fresh grad.
Yes, yeah. Like I was that teacher Jane. Like, come on, and like 19 years after, you know, like, and in this interview is very, I think, significant for me as well. Not so much has changed, I should say, other than my age, because I still feel so in love about teaching, so crazy about it. You know, I mean, it started with teaching, you know, some of the wealthy kids in the city, because I taught in a private school. But yeah, it was God who just designed the whole thing for me, and who else and what other kinds of children I would meet for the last 19 years. So I think for me, it's the mindset I had that I wanted teaching to be an adventure. You know, so 19 years, I can actually remember the number of years I spent in this school. First 3 years in the Christian school, 5 years in a progressive school. It was like a mini international preschool.
Okay.
And then after that, I took a year off because I needed to finish my thesis for early childhood education. So I just tutored kids for the whole year because I needed to study more and just, you know, like do a lot of like work, like to finish my book. And then after that, I actually went on to another adventure. I wanted to try how it feels to be a teacher in an NGO, or like teaching the less fortunate kids in the city.
Oh,
So I went to the dump site. I joined the dump site ministry for 3 years. So it was not a regular classroom teaching, but it was teaching in all kinds of, you know, like places. We were at the cemetery. We went up to the mountains. We went up to squatter areas to teach. So it was an adventure, you know. I stayed there for 3 years, and again, I I have nothing against people who want to stay in a school for 10 years or more. That is also a calling, and that's also awesome. But because I already told myself, when I was 20, it's going to be a teaching adventure. So let's go wherever God wants us to go, wherever He impresses me to go. After that, I spent 2 years in Lapu-Lapu to open and pioneer a preschool, a private preschool, to help a cancer patient. Yes, and it was kind of like a wonderful rest from the dump site because the school was right in front of a beach, so it was a beachfront preschool, which was so cool.
So still with kids.
Still with kids, yeah. But this time it was administrating. Administrating, so because I'm also like a school principal / consultant, something like that. And then after that, I stopped again for a while, for a year, to just think things over, and that's when Tudlui was born. Yes.
This is what I
Yes,
knew.
that's when Tudlui was born. And after that, it was like, I don't want to teach in a regular school anymore, because I've tried the Christian school, I've tried the progressive school. I didn't want to be in the public school. So my friend opened Chada Literacy and Arts Hub. And that's where I'm there right now. It's Chada basically is business as a mission. It's a supplemental learning hub where we teach arts and we also teach literacy. So I'm basically in charge of the literacy part, teaching language to preschoolers and adults, and until they're like as long as they want to learn English. And then we also have a daycare there. So I'm still teaching basically because being in the classroom is something I really love. Although I know that I don't have to be there all the time. So it's something like, okay, the classroom is just always there, but I can always go out anytime and go back anytime I want because I'm also involved with a lot of other things outside the classroom. Yes.
Wow. That was an adventure.
It's an adventure, right?
Yeah, very.
So
To add to another adjective to it, very colorful 19
colorful
years.
19 years.
Exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
Mayuha dyan, oy.
Colorful as the nips.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Wow,
That's it.
No, that's so amazing, and I'm just amazed of the what you have just said. Nga, you believe nga. Of course, dili raman, it's not a problem that you get to be in the classroom teaching for like 10 years in a regular tradition
Yes.
but you have a different view of how you would want to teach and how the setting would be. But I want to go back to the word teaching and being a teacher. Is it your dream, Jude, when you were younger?
I wanted to be a teacher.
Wow,
yeah,
amazing.
I think because the school I went to in elementary, can I name the school though?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
go ahead.
It's somewhere in Lutopan, Toledo. I went to ASMS La Salle and Soriano Memorial School. I stayed there until level 5, and that school inspired me a lot because I always thought that teachers were the best people in the world.
And I agree to that. Still they are.
I had excellent teachers. I loved their penmanship. I loved the way they spoke English. I thought everything was like, wow, this is so cool. I would love to be a teacher when I grow up. Stuff like that. And so that's what I did. My pretend play when I was little was I was a teacher. I was a school principal. I made paper cards. I had a pretend school. I had paper IDs and stuff like that. So I really wanted to be a teacher, but it was just teach kids how to read and write. And then later on, I was like, God turned it into a really colorful adventure.
Yeah.
So, and that surprised and shocked me too.
But did God play a major role in choosing that career or that purpose that you have right now in your life?
Of course. I think it was a blessing that I was already a Christian when I decided to become a teacher, and then when I already started teaching.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. And then thinking about like teaching katong sa dump site, how was it was it difficult at first, or how was it for the children also?
I didn't really love children that much before. Some people would say that, and then you would just be surprised that why do I love children, and why do I love to teach them? Because of my first experience was really teaching kids. Again, I said in wealthy schools and wealthy family, children coming from wealthy families. As a Filipino citizen, I was like, I wanted the poor children to also experience what these kids are experiencing in big schools and private schools. And so when I got that chance, we actually restarted kindergartens in the dump site. And so we thought, and I had teachers who were also believers like me. And it's like, oh, the classroom should be air conditioned. So even if these kids come from the dumps and they're smelly and they can go to school without even showering. I thought we could always, re-engineer the kind of environment they'll be in the classroom and let them experience the same kind of learning that, wealthier kids have.
Yeah.
And the thing that we started there, they're still there right now. So in the dump site, it's been continuing. So we were sort of the pioneering people also there. And
That's so
we're just
amazing,
thankful.
Miss
We're just
Jane.
thankful. So, yeah. So
That really resonated with me because regardless of what class you are in, everyone deserves access to education.
to quality, excellent education.
Yeah.
Thank you
Early
for emphasizing that.
early
quality
childhood
education.
Yeah,
education.
true.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
that's
And on that note, I'd like to ask you this question. It is said that it's one thing to be a teacher in practice, but it's another to be a teacher at heart. So do you agree with this? Does your faith in Jesus play a major factor in how you teach?
totally, because Jesus is my master teacher. So I'll always I'll be employed and I'll say, well, you're my boss, but my real boss is up there, because and how did Jesus teach? How did he deal with his disciples and the people who were following him when he was here on earth? When I was asked, when I was a little younger, and I was asked what does it take to be a teacher? And I remember my answer was, a teacher should have a big heart for God and for kids. And now that I go back to that, I'm like, yeah, that's true. I think it's not just academics. I mean, I love, helping kids to become really smart, speak good English, read, write, do this and that, and be so excellent with highest honors, But if we do not teach them values and if we do not teach them about God, then I don't know where we're going. So that's basically part, as a teacher and believer. That's very important. I think compassion, kindness, humility as a teacher, a very teachable heart also. And we can just talk about the fruits of the Spirit. I think a teacher should possess that, like all of those, patience, long-suffering, joy.
Yeah,
It's not easy. It's not easy to be a teacher.
Yeah, you spoke about the perspective of a teacher and a believer, but in your personal perspective, what does it mean to teach?
To teach.
Yeah.
Yes. For me, teaching really is a lifestyle.
I like that.
So
I like that.
lifestyle, because even if I'm inside a jeepney, I can be teaching people to sit up straight because this is not.
Sorry,
your
my bad.
No,
My bad.
because I'm a commuter, I commute, and for us to have, for us to all comfortably sit, sit properly. Yes, yes. So it transcends, from the classroom to my family, to the community, to the church, to the neighborhood. So it should be a lifestyle, and it starts with teaching yourself, Yeah.
Oh, I love that passion. No? I could really feel it. Can you?
Yeah, I can. I really love seeing your enthusiasm and how. I mean, I haven't even considered making a career as a lifestyle. But after hearing that, why not? I think that's one other way of loving what you're doing,
Yeah,
because it's really
exactly.
hard. It's really difficult to love your job or love what you're doing. But seeing you very enthusiastic at this time, after 19 years, you still have that fire. It's amazing.
Yeah, and also I'd like to reiterate what you have said, that yes, you wanted your students to have the highest honors, to be smart and really good at everything or what they are good at. But you said that it is pointless if they don't know the values and of course who God is. So how is it? Was it difficult for you to include that in your teaching, or did you come across any difficulties towards the children, perhaps, or anything like that?
Because I started teaching in a Christian school, so it was also a very wonderful experience for me. And then I moved to a progressive school. It was a secular school, so we didn't talk about Jesus. The only time we did was in Christmas time, and that's when I saw the difference. And I had to see that, and that's when I already started praying, oh my, I want to be in a Christian school again. And actually God gave me that chance again, because last year I also taught in a Christian school. I taught Bible classes from 1st grade to 6th. And then I realized, if my friends ask me, the best place to be in right now is a Christian school. Not because it's great there, it's perfect. No, it's going to be another battlefield. But that's where we can be an instrument of God to continue to teach children about Him. So
True.
that's why. Yeah. So.
That's really great. John, how about you? I think you have another question for Miss Jane.
Yeah. And in line with that, can you share to us what Tudlui is and all that, and all the other ministries you are passionate about?
Yes. So I mentioned that within the 19 years, that's where I was able to start to Louis. Now, like jokingly, I tell my friends it's because of frustration, out of frustration, that I see things should be done this way. Like outreaches should be done this way, or like children's outreaches or feeding outreaches should be done this way. And so I wanted to start to Louis, but it's not like that. It's really because to Louis' mission vision is to spread the gospel and then build learning communities through literacy and play. So we feed children too, but it's not the main thing. It's more teaching them, because again, teaching is a lifestyle for me, and that's when I was able to start Tudlui. Tudlui is Bisaya for to teach or to train, basically. And also because teaching is, for me, you never stop learning. Like teaching and learning come together. They come together. And right now, like Tudlui has mountain outreaches, because I know there are a lot of other outreaches in the city, and who goes to the mountains, and one of those areas was actually birthed because of my going to Mount Manungal, hiking, and then you add, it's really just like that,
It really came out from your hobby also.
Yes, because my tour guide was, they had a place there, they had lots of children and nobody could minister, so I thought, we'll come and visit, we'll see how that goes. And then we started that. And then with a lot of generous friends around the city who also helped the ministry.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's not easy to really spearhead these things, but I know where you're coming from, because it really comes from your faith, and it's just really it's just amazing. Actually, I couldn't find any word for it, but how I could really see how Jesus really had led you to do these things, and I know it's not easy. And I just want to go back to this heart that you have for children, and I wanted to doing that. Did it come across na rag lisod at some point? I'm not really lisod, but kanang gikapuy ka. Did it came to a point that you got tired of it?
of
Felt
course,
burnt
of
out.
course. There were lots of lizard moments, like Red Sea, let's call it like Red Sea moments, wilderness moments. I'm like, Lord, why am I having a hard time here when I can really go abroad, earn dollars, or I can just marry someone, and I can just like do this and that. Like, why am I here? But then like God will always just like not tell you, but you'll hear His word. You open the Bible, and it's like, oh my, He's more than enough. His grace is always sufficient. And I think because I spend a lot of quiet time and I rest, like I'm not some like work, do this for God, work, because it's not works, it's your it starts with your love for Him. This is just an overflow of His love for me that I consider teaching to be a calling, a mission, a passion, and this is all Him. It's Jesus' heart. Oh my, I cannot be loving these children. Like, I don't know these kids. Why do I even, care about them and take care of them? It's His heart. It's His compassion in my heart. And it's His provision. Anyways, I always like, Lord, this is your idea. Come on, give me the funds I need to do this. Like, give me the funds to go to the Bukid, or He'll give me volunteer drivers, volunteer transportation. And like everything is from Him. Like everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Wow. And I bet you're just, of course, you're not doing this alone. You are with fellow teachers, of course. How do you encourage them? Or are they the ones who also wanted to volunteer, or did you also encourage them to do this with you?
A lot of them see what I do. And it's not even like we don't even ask, like we don't even solicit, or like we will be doing this. Can you please provide? No, it's always been I pray, and then they give. Like amazingly
Amen.
for Tudlui for the last 5 years, it's just like that. I pray, we pray, and then people give. And I have just the most faithful friends and generous friends and partners all over the city. Some are parents, like of my students before, and some are friends of parents, friends of teachers, friends of friends, believers. Some are even not believers, but they are compelled to give because of the work we do for the children. You know, and
Yeah.
and then that's all God's work too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all God's work
Yes.
too.
Yeah. And
Yes.
it's never gonna be one person who's gonna be doing his
Yes, yes, yes.
you know, his will and his
Yes.
purpose, and for him to be glorified.
And He sends the right people at the right time.
Exactly.
Always.
Trust the process.
Always.
Thank you so much, Miss Jane. We're so much encouraged with that kind of work, right?
Yeah, really. Like, what resonated with me the most is how teaching is your lifestyle, and it's a kind of concept that I never even considered in my personal life with my work. So, probably it's a good thing to try it out.
Like incorporating, not really incorporating God, but really making sure that your life is all about the Lord, and what you're
Yeah.
doing, it's because of Him. That's why it
Yeah.
shows in what you are doing, and that is where teaching is. Aww.
Everything just intertwined for you, so which is amazing.
Yeah.
true.
And one more thing. I think for me, I'm just very curious about this. Like, I guess you would come across children who are difficult to teach, and you said that teaching is really about patience and long suffering, even. So, how do you handle that?
The thing is, I have become a more cheerful, more joyful, kinder person since I started teaching. I used to be shy. People won't believe that. You know, I tell them I'm an introvert. But when I started teaching, that's when I became more sociable. Like, because we have to communicate to
Yeah.
parents, I have become more patient. Really, really, because I'm not patient. You know, I'm not sweet. But when I started teaching, it's the kids, you know, they're teaching you to. I always think it that way. It's not just me teaching them, but whatever good I can get from, you know, the teaching learning process, I also like learn it. Because you're a teacher, it doesn't mean you don't learn anymore.
True.
You also
True.
still learn. You know?
Exactly.
So, yeah. So no difficult kids. There are difficult kids,
Yeah.
but because, you know, you believe that every child, there will always be a reason why a child misbehaves.
Yeah.
This is going to be a different topic, but
Oh,
you know,
true.
like children just need attention, and once they see that you're sincere and you're genuine and you're concerned and love for them, whether they're a rich kid, that's a rich kid or a poor kid, it just works the same. You know, it's that love, that you give to them.
And on that note, I want to ask this question too. Like, maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, who would Teacher Jane be? Are you still gonna be
let
teaching?
me compute. 5 years from now, oh my! I hope God comes back now. Okay, I will still probably be teaching. Right now. I'm actually dreaming of more daycares, more excellent quality daycares in the Philippines, in Cebu City, for example, because a lot of other countries, they give so much value on early childhood education. So, but that is not happening in the Philippines just yet, and in Cebu. So that's kind of like a dream pushing forward. Yeah. So
I really hope that you would be pursuing that, because hopefully when I have my kid,
Sure. Sure.
And hopefully-
5 years from now, okay, hi Janine, okay, I'll put you in the reservation list.
Top one in the list.
Yeah. So let's pray for that. That's
kidding aside,
yeah.
bitaw. So I'll also give you the opportunity to be able to let us learn more about the other advocacies that you have, or the other ministries that you have. So feel free to let
Yeah.
our listeners know and our viewers know.
Take this
All
opportunity.
right.
Fire away.
Okay, so let's do that. I would like to invite you, if you have 3 and 4-year-olds, to enroll them for a daycare class like MWF at Chada Literacy and Arts Hub. We also have language and reading classes, and arts classes there. So just find our Facebook page. That's Chada Literacy and Arts Hub. And if you want to know more about Tudlui, the one we talked about a while ago, just check it out in Facebook. That's TUDLUI Tudlui. And of course, I want to take this chance to invite, if you are someone who wants to know more how to spread the gospel, there is an upcoming Haggai International National Seminar for the 8th batch, and that's going to be here at One Central Hotel. That's going to be in August 17, 18, 19, 20 to 21. That's a 5-day adventure. It's Haggai is actually a leadership and evangelism training that's geared towards ending gospel poverty. So check out our page, or you can contact Janine if you want to join Haggai this time.
Yeah.
So we still have a few slots left.
Thank you.
So
Yay.
thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jane.
Yeah.
We really appreciate
Yeah.
giving us your time
Well,
here
thank
in
you.
Pod
Thank you for inviting
Point.
me.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
very
John,
much once again.
anything?
Yeah.
Any how
Yeah.
to take away for
Yeah.
this episode?
Yeah, the takeaway, like what I've said earlier, one thing that resonated with me the most is like what Miss Jane said, teaching is a lifestyle.
Yeah, and as for you, have you tried teaching?
Yeah, I
John?
did. I actually had the opportunity to teach music
Yes.
during my college years, and I had the chance to teach English as well for a year in an international English school here in the city. And not that easy.
I know, right?
Not that easy. Very challenging. So, mad props to you for sticking through to your path and for keeping the fire burning, the passion.
Yeah, you are a so not sure, exemplary, not exemplary,
Inspiration.
inspiration to also the teachers.
That's
yes.
all glory to God.
Amen.
Thank
amen
you once
to that.
again, Miss Jane, and would like to invite.
Yeah, but before, yeah, we'd like to invite you to our social media pages. But before that, to our viewers, to those who are interested to check out more of what Miss Jane mentioned earlier, do not worry. I think we will be attaching the links as well to our YouTube page for that. So just check out this episode once for the links to Louis, Chada Literacy and Arts Hub, as well as Hey Guy. And also, we would like to invite you to our church worship. Sorry about that. Worship service every Sunday here in One Central Hotel, 7th floor at 10 a.m. in the morning. Apart from that, we also would like to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Spotify, our Facebook page, and Instagram. Just search the Pod Point.
Yes, thank you, John, for that. And again, we'd like to thank our guest, Miss Jane Diana. And thank you, Teacher Jane. You are such an inspiration.
Thank you.
And that's it for our episode today. Have a restful day and see you again on our next episode.
See you.
Bye.